Hello, hello, hello.
We are throwing away all these lifting seats.
Hello, anybody coming in? Just coming back on from earlier today. Just to say hello and chat a minute or two. Hey, you asleep? I'm okay. I just popped on to see if I can get anybody to come on. That's all. I'm in it. I, I'm gonna sit on here a little more longer, and then after that, I'll okay. Okay. Oh, you ain't do nothing. Bye bye. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Let's chit chat a minute or two. Everybody sleep or gone out tonight. See, Christina. Good evening, Miss Dad. Glad I caught you on live tonight. Thank you, Christina. How are you doing? I just decided to come on for a little while. As you can see, I'm relaxing, and I came on earlier. Hello, Sharon. Thank you for coming in as well. So I decided just to come on in my relaxation mode. And believe it or not, I just got through cooking my Sunday dinner. I did one of the numbers that we used to do back in the days. My mom and grandmamas and aunties cook at night for the next day. So I done finished my Sunday dinner. Came home early from what I was out doing today, laying around trying to decide what I was going to eat this evening. And all of a sudden I say, well, you know what? Since you're not doing anything, go ahead and cook your Sunday dinner. So it's already finished. Tomorrow we're going to have our Easter program. Instead of having our Easter program next Sunday, they're having it tomorrow on Palm Sunday. So if I make it out to the service in the morning, I won't have to worry about cooking. It's already finished. I did some cabbage. Um, I did a cabbage, baked chicken, and baby buttered seasoned new potatoes with cornbread. Something simple, but I want to go ahead and cook, and it's delicious already. So tomorrow dinner is already prepared, and I'm finished. House smelling good, and I can sleep with that aroma. So how have you all's day been? I hope you all have been having a great day so far, and that everything has been nice to you today. Everybody has been nice to you all today, and you had a great day relaxing or doing or enjoying whatever you enjoy doing. Yep. I just wanted something quick, and it was good. So I'm complete. Yeah, I was just coming on, you all. I really, truly didn't have too much to talk about, but I was looking, and you see my pillow matching my little gown. I noticed that matching my nightshirt. I noticed that when I stuck it up behind my head, I said, "Oh, matching." But yes, I just wanted to come on and gang a couple more minutes, leading toward the hours that I need, and I wasn't doing anything, so I said, "Let me just pop in." And I was looking at the news. Y'all already know, the ones who watch me, something always come to mind, and something always, I just always end up looking at something that makes me want to just talk about it. And I was looking at, unfortunately, here in Alabama, there have been several unpleasant, not too good at all incidents with people um, losing their life from the people that they supposed to be loved by. And so that's why I came up with that. I say people just need to really pay attention to who they fall in love with. And I know people do change. sometime. They could start off one way and end up another way. There are different things that make people change from who they are. Because sometimes people are really great people and great people to be in a relationship with. But then if they start changing and getting into different habits, like the use of drugs, alcohol, um, there's a lot of things that can make people just change who they really are and alter the way they think in their mind and the way of thinking. And it's kind of sad because who you go to sleep with every night or who you end up in a relationship with, how can they be the one that end up taking your life? And we think we know people, not just in a romantic relationship, but just about any type of relationship. Sometimes you think you know people and really you don't know them. Like they say, you're sleeping with the enemy. And like a friend of mine's, his daughter, was unalive at a young age. I think she was like 22, if that old. And she had just had a newborn baby. And the baby, this guy was the father of that baby. And he came home one day. I don't think she knew that he had been taking the pain pills or whatever he was on. And by her coming from the hospital, just getting out the hospital, he knew that she had these pain relievers. And supposedly he came into the house, a newborn baby, only 2 or 3 days old, and he asked her for those pain pills. And she did not give him those pain pills. And that cost her life. Hey Carla, how you doing? And like I said, this little girl was like 20, maybe 21, 22 years old, just bringing home a newborn baby from the hospital. And the person that she had supposed to be in love with, the father of her baby, which was only 2 or 3 days old, turned into outrage emotions and take her life from pain pill because he wanted pain pills. And that was a sad day. I knew this little girl from the age of, I guess she was about 6 years old when I first met her through my friends, and that's how she lost her life. And then it was another situation where this husband, which was a sheriff, um, took his wife off and set the car afire. Unalived her, set the car afire. So y'all see where I'm going at with this healthy and unhealthy relationship stuff. We just don't know what would tick or what would make people turn on somebody that they supposed to love or they loved each other and then turn around and take their life. Then my cousin had a best friend. I knew of them, but I didn't know them. And she said she was through with him. She wasn't gonna come back, and she moved away, like what we call up the country in Alabama. And she came back to Mobile, and she was like at her parents' house. Came back for I think a funeral or something. He found out that she was there. He went to the house, to her relative's house, asked her to come go riding with him so he can talk with her, so they can work things out. Well, he took this girl away from there, went to his house, and held her hostage for I don't know how long. So her relatives went looking for her, and she was telling him she wasn't going to move back to Mobile. She wasn't going to move with him, and he got mad, unalived her, set the car on fire, and then unalived himself. So, with me telling you all just those three stories, and I do know of a couple of more, because it happens every day. And then this one that was really close to me, my neighbor of many, many years, lived right around the corner from me. She and her husband was having problems. I didn't know that she had been going through this abusive relationship for so long, because you see people, they speak to you, and he speak to you, she speak to you, and I mean you have conversations with them, and your kids grew up together, so that's this one particular story, which was I knew both people, and I knew them good because, like I said, we've been in the neighborhood for so many years together. They had broken up. They went on this trip to kind of like get back together. And this was a married couple here with two kids. And after they came back from out of town, she personally told me, I was standing outside one day and she was passing by. And I was like, I'm glad you all are back together trying to work things out. And she said, "Yeah, girl, we had a good time and went to a Stone Mountain somewhere." She said it was real nice. She said, "You ought to go there. You'll like it." Okay, then about that it was like on that Monday when I saw her. That next following Saturday, I heard that she had left him again, and she had went to another state not far from here, and he had been looking for her. So he went to her sister house, which I knew the sister, went to her house looking for his wife. They say she wasn't there, which she wasn't there. He ended up unaliving her sister and her sister husband and setting the house afire. And he found her, which it was his wife, took her back around the corner from me to their home, barricaded them in, and kept her hostage for I don't know how long. And hid the weapon that he used on her sister and husband. And all of a sudden, I just saw a lot of cars, police, detectives, all kind of people going around the corner. And it was like, that's at such and such house. I'm like, what? They're looking for her husband because he unalived her sister and husband. They're looking for him, but they say she's around there barricaded in the house. I'm like, oh my God. So, make a long story short, she ended up living because they got there just in time, you know, and he's doing time, but she lost her sister and her brother-in-law because she ended up leaving him. So he wanted her to hurt and he wanted to punish her. So he took their lives. And that's four. But two of them, I personally was attached to them. You know, these men are so possessive. Possessive is no joke. Yes. So, with all that being said, straight to the point, then I just saw some stuff on the news. It's like, how do you really tell when you are in a healthy or unhealthy relationship? What are some of the key elements to know? What are some of the signs to let you know that you are really sleeping with your enemy, or you're really saying I do to the person that's going to end your life? That's scary. That's why I hear a lot of people saying, I'm okay. I'm single by myself. I'm fine by myself. It's just so hard to trust people. And like, again, not just in romantic relationships, but just in relationships, period. Because you have best friends that's supposed to be best friends, you have siblings, you have parents and children turning on each other now. I mean, the devil is just so haywire now. So you just don't know who you're dealing with, and it's so scary. And a lot of people say, just stay prayed up. We just gotta pray. Yeah, you have to, but you have to watch and you have to pay attention. And it is so true when people tell you they're gonna take your life, nobody's gonna have you if I can't. It Most of the time they are really telling you just what's coming from the heart. They're telling you just what it means to them to not give a damn about your life. And my daughter, She just found out somebody that she know just did the same thing that came on the news, and she knew of them. And I just pray for my daughters, both of them, and my granddaughter when she starts dating, whether I'm here or not, that they don't fall in the hand of possessive men, friends. Because you could be sitting at the table with somebody every day, talking to them every day. And it don't have to be a romantic relationship, just any type of relationship. And people have so much evil and hatred in them. The same one that you are smiling with, talking with, and laughing with are the same ones to, take you out of here. So I just pray all the time that my children, don't end up in the hands. Now this thing look crooked. Don't end up in the hands of somebody that could just be heartless. And then even myself, you have to watch what people say, the language that they use. And when they start getting so loose lipped with calling you names or disrespecting you, or don't they disregard your feelings of what you think about things, who has a anger mind, what the temper, is just like boom, boom, boom. They just explode on any little thing that you say or do. That's like a bomb or explosive waiting to happen. Hey, Natasha Watkins, how you doing, baby? Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yes, Carl, I think I spoke to you too. Yeah, it's so sad. So to all the people that I can reach my voice out to and who can hear what I'm saying, and I know we are all adults, but sometimes we just have to remind each other what's really going on out here and have to really pay attention, not to who you just sitting at the table drinking with, because you got to watch your drinks. You have to watch your food. You just got to watch your back, period. But to get into relationships, and you know how we so head over here, they proposed to me and they did this and we love each other, and then they're the very ones. So I just want to bring up some, hey, Tracy Jones, how are you? Thank you for dropping in. I want to bring up some healthy characteristics in your relationship and what you should look for. Because, like I said, I just named four, really five, but two very personal people that I know of that lost their life, of their members of their family's life, because somebody couldn't part ways when the relationship was over, when a marriage was over. And it's sad, but it's true. Yeah, we want to be with our loved ones to death do us part, just like our vows say. We want to be committed and we want to be loyal. We want to be trustworthy to the people that we love. But then at the same time, people change. And I always say this, people change, but they have a way of showing you just what they mean if we pay close attention to it. And I think that in a healthy relationship, always pay attention if your relationship is has a mutual respect. That's the first thing before we even go into a deep relationship. We need to start testing what characteristics that we see in our relationship before we move forward. And I've always said there are always flags, there are always red flags, there are always signs. But sometimes we think that we can get in a relationship. It happened to me. Of course, it didn't turn out in the end that way, but it happened to me. I was told how this person was. I was falling in love with somebody that had a past of being an abuser. But you know how we look at people? You know how when we were younger and we tend to think that what they did to somebody else don't mean that they're going to do it to us? You know, we think that their past is their past. Some things are true. Some things will stay with you until you go. I'm talking about leave from here. Some people don't change. But if you remember me saying it, and I'm going to say it this time, people don't change all the time. They just what? Rearrange the way they do things. Redo things the way they didn't do it before. Some people know how to go fishing out here and hook you and catch you mentally. And then we think mentally, our heart, we feel like we done found the right person. So that means when your parents, when we was younger, that means that your parents, your siblings, your friends, their friends, we think they can't tell us anything right when we feel like we're in love. We think that when we feel like we're in love with the right person, everything else around us is wrong about that person. And we can get caught up. People could tell you that, but we don't believe it because it's us. And we think things don't happen to us until it happens. So, like my daughter, she done dated people. My oldest daughter, when she was coming up, she was dating people. And I was like, I don't like him. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like the way he speak. He's not welcome to come back to my house. And she's wanted to see him. She's still, and sure enough, the same guy that I almost could not peel her away from came up on TV. Him and his friends taking this girl to an ATM machine, making her withdraw her money, everything else, and unaliving her. This same guy, years before that, found out his girlfriend was pregnant. Supposed been taking her to work, unalived her. That's two people. This guy, I don't know how he got out from the first one because that was way back. Maybe because he was younger. I don't know. And then after my daughter learned some sense, he ended up doing it again to somebody else. But we don't want to hear nothing about somebody that we fall in love with, that we claim we're in love with, and especially when we're younger. And then I can't really say when we're younger because sometimes old hearts fall in love and don't want to listen too. But to make a long story short, y'all, we have to really, like they say, pray about and who we think we're falling in love with. But we got to really, really start taking heed and paying attention to people characteristics that they show us when they talk, when they speak, how they act. And a compulsive liar over and over again. You keep catching somebody lie over and over again. They're a compulsive liar. They're used to it. That's who they are. That's part of them. And it's hard for them to change. But some people can lie so good till you can believe every lie that they tell. And we could be as green as the color green. But we got to make sure that we are in a mutual respect. That means we have to value each other's understanding and boundaries, trust. We have to make sure that we're feeling confident when you have each other's back and you know what you know about a person and you trust and believe. Honesty, these are the characteristics. And when people are missing any of these characteristics, then you are really supposed to be trying to ease your way out of it because every characteristic in a healthy relationship matters. Every characteristic in a healthy relationship matters. But we erase one because I can put up with this because he or she do that. I could put up with him doing this or her doing this because they're good at doing that. We start making ourselves accept the things that we know that's not true about a person. A devil is not going to always show the horns and the fault. They can come dressed in disguise. But we have to know better. We have to believe in ourselves that we deserve better. And we have to start trusting our instinct. Remember the other night we was talking about the instinct, the gut feeling. We have to trust and know and respect what the little inner voice and our gut feeling tells us about a person, because there's not going to be too many times that you're going to be fooled out. But there's going to be many times that you will get in a habit of excusing what a person do to you or toward you. We'll start, if they call us a bitch the first time, then they get on their knees and say, I promise you I won't do it again. I promise you. If they call you uh, anything out of your name, we'll let it pass. This is first time. This her first time. I'm gonna go ahead because he is a good person. See, we're setting ourselves up to go deeper and deeper into a bad relationship, not knowing how it's gonna end. Compromise, acknowledging and respecting different points of views. When a person don't respect your point of view, but they want you to always accept and expect their point of view about any topic, anything, what you believe, you should respect yourself enough to know what you believe. But if somebody else don't respect your point of view, if somebody else show you that distrust in them, that they don't respect you, and they're not honest, and then on top of that, they don't respect your point of view. If you all are having a discussion, then y'all should have enough respect for one another to accept my point of view. You don't have to agree with my point of view, but accept my point of view. When people start showing you the disrespect of you being an individual and you have a right to feel or say what you want to say or feel about anything and they disregard it, then they're disregarding respect for you, because there's no two people that's gonna be exactly alike. Everybody has a difference in them and what they believe in. You have your own opinion and your self identity, and people overlook these characteristics in healthy, that's supposed to be a healthy relationship, and they start replacing them. I've been around people many times to say, I don't care about him staying out. I don't care about her staying out because they pay all the bills. I don't care about them seeing somebody else because they take care of me. I mean, they just bought me a new car. They just did this. They do that. I don't have to worry about this and that. We start distrusting our own inner voice, gut feelings, or what we really feel, and know. We just know when it's something not right. But we'll replace it with the things that we want in our life and don't worry about what we need or don't need in our life. And that's what get a lot of people messed up. I had one young lady that talked to me and tell me that she wanted my honest opinion about how I felt about her marriage. And she was younger, like young. And she told me that her mother wanted her to stay with the guy because he accepted her child that she had at a young age and he took care of her. But he was a woman's man everywhere else. And I said, well, let me ask you this. Do you accept sharing him because you had a child and he accepted? Do you accept him being somewhere sleeping and you're not knowing where he's at because he accepted your child? He married you. I said, let me ask you this. What else do you accept out of him? And I said, you tell me the truth. Is he, or do he physically abuse you? She said, well, she hesitated. I said, well, your well is a yes to me. So there is some type of abuse that's going on. She said, well, he cursed, he calls me names. I said, come on, come on, I can hear you. She's like, yeah, not all the time. When I make him real mad, he do. I said, well, baby, I'm gonna tell you, your mama is wrong for telling you to stay with this man. I say, I don't know. I'm not talking against her. I'm only telling you because you came to me. And I said, I would be highly upset if my daughter, I found out my daughter was dating somebody that was abusing her, but taking care of her, that was sleeping around with women, but taking care of her. I said, that wouldn't be my response, that you stick with him. I said, so I'm not going to tell you your mom was wrong for telling you that because I don't want you to say I said nothing. I said, but you did come to me. She ended up staying with him. She ended up she's with him now. I don't know if they are better or what, but she said she stayed with her because her mom knew his mom. It was something that didn't make sense. So all I'm saying is in a relationship, everything should make sense. And the things that don't make sense, those are the things you need to get worried about. And I don't understand some parents that can see their child getting abused, but tell them they'll get over that because they're taking care of you and accepted your child. I said, well, maybe her mom is used to the same thing that she's trying to get her daughter used to. But I think in any relationship, you shouldn't be in there just for the wrong reason. You shouldn't be in there because somebody's taking care of you, because you should be able to not accept the things that hurts you physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally, financially. I had a t-shirt made up, and I'm gonna have to show it to y'all one day. And it had the face on it, like a happy face with the sunglasses across, and it named the different type of abuses that you are in or can be in. And a lot of people for some reason always think physical abuse is the only abuse that hurt you, but mentally, emotionally, you could be abused, and that's something that you can put some alcohol on a bruise and forget that bruise was there after the soreness leave. That's physically. But emotionally and mentally abused, that's tough. And that stays with you a long time. It's I mean, the physical abuse is there and it'll be there, but it'll disappear. But mentally, you are being reprogrammed to me to accept the things that hurts you, that disfigure your mind and the way you think, where you got somebody that's really taking control over you and it's rooted deep, you know? So I just tell everybody sometimes we are being abused without knowing we're being abused because we think that because of somebody's not knocking us upside the head that we're not being abused. And I think that everybody needs to know the different types of abuse and the signs and know how to deal with it, cope with it, or get out of it. And I think with any type of abuse, you need to let it go. Personally, my opinion, because see, I was emotional abused a lot, you know, but then I wasn't realizing that it was abuse at one time. It turned into physical. And that's when I knew that I was not going to allow my daughters to feel like that was the right thing to do. When I was sick, I left out that relationship. You know, I didn't know how I was going to make it, but I know I was going to make it out alive. And I knew I had to prove to my daughters that they wasn't going to see their mother being abused in no type of way, so that they won't think that mama did it, mama accepted, so I can do it too. No, I'm gonna set a better example. I don't care if it's your daddy. I don't care how long we've been together. I'm not gonna stay with nobody depending on their money or anything else, because God gave me sense. God gave me the ability to be able to think, know how to get out and make money, not lay up and just take abuse, saying somebody taking care of you, but you're being abused in no type of way. I don't care if I was sick, but I made it. And look where I am now. I'm here, you know? I'm not a punching bag, physically or mentally. And if a lot of people could just see the signs, and even if you're not warned about being in an abusive relationship, then as soon as you figure out that it is, Hey, Kendra, where you have you been, baby? I know I haven't been on, but how are you doing? I was getting concerned about you. Thank you for coming in. But yes, so when you're in a relationship, whether it be a romantic, whether it be between the parents and the children, siblings, co-workers, no matter what type of relationship is in, when somebody is taking advantage of you mentally, physically, emotionally, and so on, and it's abusive thing, you are then in something that's really gonna be between life and death. Like I mentioned, those 4 relationships that I knew of, and 2 of them I knew of that didn't end in life. It ended the other way around. But we have to really, really take pride in ourselves. We have to really, really know the characteristics of a healthy relationship. And they say if you're going to fight, fighting fair is not fighting. Fighting fair means finding solutions to differences of opinions by sticking to the subject and avoiding the insults. That means talk out, make it make sense with the difference that we have, and come to a common ground, even though if we don't agree, but agree to respect each other's opinion, but don't let it result in a with insults, whether it's by words, physically, mentally, because when you love, you don't hurt. You don't hurt. And problem solving. That's another way to know that you're in a healthy relationship because you're going to be working together. You're going to be breaking down your problems and you're going to be learning each other and how to identify and come up with solutions together. Enough, enough to say we have a mutual understanding, a mutual respect. We are mutual trustworthy common ground that we done came in with each other. And then also recognize to yourself that you're an individual, you're willing to understand the other person as well. Anger control, when you're in a relationship and it's healthy, you're going to have the ability to feel. And if you are angry, it's going to be without lashing out in a wrongful way. Also, self respect, valuing things about yourself that make you who you are. Hello, everybody that's coming in. But you got to recognize who you are, take value in who you are, love yourself enough to not to be taken advantage of in no type of way. And see if we all, even myself, the things that I read, like I say, my life experiences, that's all I can speak on. I can only speak on the things that I know, the things that I've been through, experienced in life, the things that I have researched, credible information. Because you, like I keep saying, you can get information from anywhere, but make sure it's credible information. And people that have been through things that I have witnessed myself and know that it's true. Like I told you all about the relationships of the lady around the corner and what happened to her. My friend's daughter, what happened to her. I can tell you all about those things and know the truth is the truth. And my experience that I know is true without lying or covering up, but being truthful with people to help them if they're in that type of relationship or anything else I talk about. I like telling the truth and nothing but the truth. I don't like misleading people. It hurts me when somebody mislead me, no matter what type of relationship it is. Don't mislead me. Don't lie to me. I can't stand that. And to keep catching people in lies over and over again, a compulsive liar. Why would you believe a compulsive liar? Why would you believe somebody that intentionally hurts you, intentionally lies, intentionally don't respect you, not honest with you? Don't, it's so much when it comes to a healthy relationship that we look over or we make excuses for. Because, like I said in the beginning, when we call ourselves in love, we don't want to hear nothing about who we are loving. We see the things and still don't want to believe it. We try to find ways to accept it. We try to find excuses to cover up the things that we don't like, the things that they are showing us. We try to replace them with the things that we do like. And we tend to, as young and older people, we know what hurts us. We can tell people what don't hurt us, but we know what hurts us. We could try to appear to be strong, but we know what hurts us. And to train yourself to be hurt, to train yourself to be disrespect, to train yourself to not look at the red flags that we saw a long time ago. But for some reason, we think that they're going to love us different. They're going to do by us different. They're going to treat us better. Maybe she did this or he did that to cause him to do her like that. But it's not going to happen to me. But it happens to me. It can happen to anybody. Anybody can change. And anybody can act like they changed, but rearrange the things that they did. Anybody can appear to be loving and trustworthy until the real them come out. And that's what happened to me. And that's why I'm not with them like 8 years ago. And we have been together a long time. But as soon as he started changing and showing me some things that I had been hearing, but the real you, and we got to face that. The real you is you. The real you is who you are. You can cover up and you can make pretend like you are something that you're not, but sooner or later, the real you gonna come out. It is. The real you is gonna come out. If you just keep watching a person and keep listening closely to a person, they're gonna tell on themselves. The truth will come out. But when the truth come out, we have to believe what it is. And when our life is in danger, when it comes to these relationships, like I said, that's not ending too good. And I just thought about one more. I know somebody right now, my guy friend, his best friend cousin, just off his wife and tried himself, but he's out there on life support. He said if nobody else can't have it, he won't neither. So that's like six different people that I know of. That's why I say we need to pay attention to our characteristics in these relationships that we get into, ourselves and them. Because it's sad for people to think that way, but we'll do it. It's sad for us to sleep with people and not know that's how our life gonna end. Um, when I say it could be any type of relationship, it don't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be between parents, siblings, friends, co-workers, and all. These are some of the same characteristics that you have to make sure you see or don't see. This young lady, her father was a pastor, and something was going on. But I'll end it like this. She unalived her father, the pastor, and her mother only has one eye. And I personally didn't know her, but I knew somebody in her family. My brother worked with her brother, and this happened about 2 months ago. So, see, like I said, this is the devil just out here haywire. But we have to pay attention. And they say she was a little, imbalanced. But that's when we have to really not just see it, but say it. And we have to do something about it and get help for our loved ones when we know mentally that something is going on. But a lot of people, like back in the days, they say when somebody had a child, that was disabled or something, back in the days, they say people used to keep their children in the house, would let nobody see them. But now we do have places. We have medications, places, therapy. We have so many outlets to get our people help. We have to admit that our people and stop being ashamed when we know our kids or our loved ones are mentally challenged, and don't hide it. And be hollering about, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna pray. You have to do what you have to do in order to save your life, other people's lives, because you never know what's gonna go on or what's gonna happen in somebody's mind and cause them to do something. So that's why I say we got all kind of relationships. And when you see things, you're supposed to act on them. When you know people need help, you're supposed to act on it. That's not the time to act like it's not real in our relationships when it's not healthy. That's not the time to ignore it. We have to act on things that we think that won't take place, you know? So, Kendra, there's an investigation going on right now. This girl left this man. He took all four of them, including a 2-year-old little body. They got him locked up now. Yes. Oh my God, Kendra, my youngest is 2 right now. I can't imagine. Yes. And I just hate to stay on this subject, but this subject, you know how they say when you say, Mom, do you have life insurance? Or you have life? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about no life insurance. People will say that in a minute. I don't want, it's time to talk about it while you can talk about it. There's no time where it's a such thing. I don't want to talk about death. I don't want to talk about life insurance. And some people might be saying, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about a healthy relationship, an unhealthy relationship, the characteristics? Because it's time. Because every day, all day, somebody's life is being claimed. Families are being disfigured. People are leaving because what Kendra just typed, what I've said about 6 relationships. And then there's one more, Kendra, when you said that, it's not an investigation going on. This is something that happened this past week as well. Well, this man unalived somebody, his wife. I don't think they was legally married, but I and her she passed away. Her 8-year-old son passed away. And then the man that did it, he did it to himself and he passed away. So this woman, her 8-year-old son, the guy who did it himself, all 3 passed away. And guess what? He yeah, to the 11-year-old girl. And she's the only one that's surviving right now in critical condition. This happened last week. So, yeah, I feel like it's a good topic. I feel like it's a good discussion to talk about because it's happening too often, too much, and too soon when people just don't want to talk about certain things. So, if anybody that's here now, if anybody that comes across this video, red flags are real, signs are real. When people tell you they're going to do something, they're real, you know? And when people are losing their lives to unhealthy relationships, things happen that's not good. And somebody somewhere might need to just hear me say, take it for what it is. Abuse is abuse. Life is life. But your life is very important enough to know that you are loved and that you do not need your life to end like this. You know, I try, I may be boring. I might not catch people's attention. I don't have all those topics where I'm trying to cut somebody's head off and they're trying to cut mine off. I'm not often to that. I'm often to just what it says, Dad Speaks Gems. I try to make things make sense. I try to get on here and share with you all things that I've been through, things that I know other people not might be going through. I don't know who, but I do know that I'm not the only one that have experienced what I've been through. I know I'm not the only one that's gonna experience what I may have been through. So if it hurt me or it caused any hurt or pain or something with me where I had to take the pain and I had to learn to deal with it, cope with it, get out of it, no matter what it is, love, finance, anything. I know that true information is always great information that somebody can use, that somebody just might need. I feel like that's my purpose. I think that is my purpose because I get a joy out of helping people. I get a joy out of trying to do what's right. I get a joy when I think about young girls, young women that may not have a me, that may not know a me, that may be lost and need to hear the truth from me. I get a joy out of helping others. I believe in if I can't help you, I'm not gonna hurt you. I wish a lot of more people was like me and the world be a better place. Me, perfect? No. I never said I was perfect. I'm telling you all, I'm perfect at telling the truth and trying to keep somebody from going through something I've been through or how to deal with it or get over it and live life to the best and the fullest of your ability. And people misleading people, wanting to see people hurt, want to cause pain. We don't need no more of that. We have enough pain. We have enough stuff that's going on in our life to cause us pain. Why? Why can't somebody like little me try to help somebody that may be in pain, going through pain, or maybe facing pain? Somebody needs that too. Just like people need anything, money, whatever. Some people need somebody who came simply to show love, to talk and make sense of things, to make sense. Some people need that. I always needed a big sister when I was coming up, but I was the oldest of five. I always wanted to talk to somebody other than my mom, other than my aunts. It wasn't a whole lot of girls in our family. It was a lot of boys in my family. I think I learned a lot from being around a lot of boys. But I always wanted somebody to talk to me and tell me the truth on some things that I probably was afraid to talk to my mama about. That's why I made a vow to myself. If I ever have daughters, said this years ago, if I ever have daughters, I'll make sure they're not afraid to talk to me about anything. Because back in the days, we couldn't talk to our parents about anything and made us feel comfortable. We were scared to let our parents know when we felt like we was getting ready to make love, when we felt like, we were scared to bring up certain situations and conversations. I promised myself, my daughter and them would be able to talk to me without fear. Right today, my oldest daughter tell my youngest daughter, girl, you sit, you talk to mom about anything, but that's just how I want it. That's just how it needs to be. She talks to me too about anything, but she don't be as open as my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter said, "You said it," so she do it. She don't hold back anything from me. But there are so many people that don't have that open door to talk to their parents and aunties and about anything. There are so many people that needs a conversation like that and don't have it. There are so many people that have to figure out so much on their own, and it makes it hard for them. It makes it difficult for them. Some people are ashamed to share the truth about their life. When I come and I tell you the truth, because there's somebody that just may need to hear the truth. If I can only just relate to one person, I did great. And that's how I am. Hello, Vicky. How are you doing? Did I miss anything else? This happening in Perry, Georgia. You know, I'm in Alabama, so everything I've been talking about on the news and all the people that I've been saying that I know involved, everything is here in Alabama, which, you know, that's bad. And just how many other states and country, just right now while we're speaking, somebody's in an abusive relationship, being threatened, being harmed, being hurt. And right here, it may be just one person, not me anymore. So see, I'm human. I was in a relationship that wasn't good for me, but I'm here and I'm sharing it because it's in the news. And it's maybe somebody right here, right now, that need to hear what's healthy and what's not healthy and do something about it. Act now. Tomorrow is never promised to nobody. But being held captive in your mind, being held in prison is in your mind, but it's your body, it's you. Have enough love and self respect and care enough about you to not know just because somebody paying bills or somebody buying you a new car or you don't have to worry about no money that you in a good relationship. And it's not. It's not. Don't buy it. Don't get bought out of your life. Don't get taken care of so good where you got to keep your nails and hair and everything. You got to keep that big, nice home. Don't think that you're living a good life if you're not if you're not in a healthy relationship. You have to go to bed like you know that song, I have to sleep with one eye open. If you have to sleep with one eye open, you're not sleeping. You're not. You're not in peace. You're not. So don't go out here and show everybody you got the BMW and you got the new such and such, but you got to sleep with one eye open. That's just, something I just wanted to talk about tonight. I never say I have a topic of discussion, but if you just look at the news and you think about life, that's always something important that you can talk about. And that's how I come up with it. But I love to place myself in my conversations so that no one could think that I'm just talking just to be talking, or I put myself up here. No, I like trying to make things make sense. I like people to see that this is real that I'm talking about. And how I know it's real, if I can let you relate to that, I can relate to my conversations, and I'm truthfully talking and sharing things sometimes that just need to be shared, you know? And I say that to anybody. And lastly, being a role model, showing respect to others can help you earn respect in return. That's what I feel. And that's what I feel. And I really know that it's true. When you show people that you can respect them, you can earn respect. When you have self respect, valuing things about yourself that make you who you are, when you have that self respect and you show a role model that you can respect others, then others will begin respecting you. And how do you get that? You demand respect. So if you're in a relationship and you don't demand respect, you done lost the game already. Because there's no way, no reason why you shouldn't always hold yourself to be respected. Because it's like if you got somebody that's in control, they know that you don't care about being respected. They're not going to respect you. They're not. You got to let people know, hey, I am the role model of who I am. And I demand to be just that. Go in it like that, keep it like that. And when something start breaking, stop making excuses and get out of it. Yeah, love. It's hard to fall out of love, especially when you really truly love somebody. But you can't love if you're not here neither. Can I say? And the funny thing is, I checked on that case just before I came on your live, and this is the conversation. That's how the Lord works. Yes, Kendra. Yes, it sure is. It sure is. And I always pray about, before I come on live, I say, now what kind of subject, what is it that I could talk about that everybody can relate to, you know? And sometimes I don't even know, and I get on here and just start talking. But I feel like a lot of times I end up in the right directions. And when I get off, I feel good about what I discuss. Like even when I was a comedian, I never wrote down my strips of my set. They call them set. What I was gonna do on stage, because when I used to write down what I'm gonna do on stage, I normally mess up a little bit. To me, a lot of people say I didn't, but to me, I did because I'm trying to remember what I wrote to tell it to the audience. My best time that I did on stage, to me, is when I got up and ad lib. Like, I check out the crowd before I go on stage. I observe the crowd, and I know who they booed or who they liked, what they enjoyed. I check out the audience, the age, the environment, what gets them hyped. And then when by the time it's time for me to go out on stage, I know what to give them. And those were my best times on stage. And I've always asked God, speak for me, speak through me, and sometimes speak for me, especially when I don't even know how I'm going or where I'm going to start. That was even in school. I just always asked that. I homeschooled my granddaughter when she was in the 6th grade. I had her home. It was like right after COVID, and she's in the 8th going into the 9th this year. But I brought her home and I homeschooled her myself. One of her biggest fears, she used to always tell me, I'm scared to get in front of the class. Mama, I'm scared. I don't like when the teacher asks me to read. I'm like, well, you need to. And I tell her. So what I did, my first thing I had to do was to get her out of being shy from getting in front of the class. What makes you scared? I asked her a question. She tell me. We worked on that. I gave her things to research and talk about. I had her to get in front of me. I had her to get in front of my daughters, you know. I had her to get in front of the mirror. And I gave her confidence because I made her feel so good when she was reading her reports to me that whole year. I showed her how to study for a test. I worked with her. And when she went back to school in the 7th grade last year, she was ready. So we have to work with people, not tease them, not make fun of them when they have an issue, any kind of issue in life. And that's why a lot of people don't look to talk to people when they're going through an abusive relationship, when they're going through a financial hardship, when they're going through things in life, that somebody can be there for them and help boost them, pull them. help them. But people see you down and they like it. They get a enjoyment out of it, you know. But I say to anybody, we have to stop making people feel like they are the lesser in the room. We have to make people feel like if they have a problem, if they're being abused, if they're in an unhealthy relationship, whatever it is, we have to cheer people on, encourage people to talk, encourage people, let people know that they're not alone. Why have people afraid to tell you when they need help? Encourage people, and more people will be willing to come out and tell you if they're in an unhealthy relationship. They would tell us, but society has it so bad now to when they tell us they're in a relationship that's not good, they're losing a home, they need to go bankrupt, they need to whatever it is. What we do, we kick them down. We kick them down. And that's what we need to work on. More lifting up, more women for women, more you don't look this way, or you too big, you too small, you this, you this, you. We need to start pointing the finger at us. What is it about us that we respect of ourselves? Don't you know other people want that same respect? That's how we have to look at life. What are we going through? We may laugh at somebody for what, well, not me. I don't I that's one thing I don't do. My mom, I was raised like that. I could honestly say I never laughed at a person downfall. Never. Because we wasn't allowed to talk about our neighbors. If we gave somebody clothes, we was not allowed to talk about it. If we had somebody ask my mom or ask us to lend them something, we was not allowed to tell nobody. Thank God I was raised like that. Because see, when I give from my heart. That's how I was taught. I was taught to give from my heart. And when you give somebody something, that's the end of it. You don't bring it back up. Because whatever they are going through today, it may very well be you tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. What you go to bed with sometime, you just don't wake up with it. What you go to bed with, sometimes you just don't wake up with it. Overnight things can happen. So you don't, we were just, I just thank God that I was brought up by the family I was brought up with, because we don't talk about when we help people. We don't we don't brag. We don't do any of that. And I promise you we don't. We used to get in trouble if we laugh at somebody. If you know how kids used to be, or they really are now. They laugh at somebody because they got on something raggedy, or they laugh at them because of this. You know how kids, well, we got in trouble if we got caught doing that. And I thank God that I grew up with a lot of older people that believe in respecting each other and what people go through in life. I don't do it. I never did, and I won't do it. If I don't have nothing good to say about you, I'm not going to say anything about you at all. Kendra said, right, we couldn't tell that we helped them. No. Lucinda, you changed your name. Yes, Lucinda changed her name. Loving Lucinda. Hey, Lucinda. How are you doing? I want to thank everybody that came in. Like I said, I'm trying to, I got to work hard and hard on these watch hours. I appreciate you all so much. The ones that I have seen go back and watch my replays, and I've seen what people, they are going back watching old videos and watching the shorts and leaving comments and clicking that like button. I'm getting more views, and I'm getting it the right way. That's why it's going to take longer. I know that's why it's taking longer. If my commentary was different, I would have been had those watch hours. I would have been had them. I know I would have. I'm not saying it to or for anybody else. I'm saying what I know is the truth. If I had a different type of commentary, I would have had those watch hours so long ago. But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna stay steady and pace myself and stay on the same accord. I'm gonna get there. And when I do, it'll be deserving. But I just want to thank you all for stopping in tonight. That's because they like mess and drama. Yes. And I see how people are being pulled in, going in, and all that stuff. And I just say what works for anybody, let it work for them. But I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep doing what I love doing, helping, talking, rooting for people, and just do what I know. And I know me. So I'm just going to keep doing me. And I appreciate everybody that's coming over and trying to learn me, get to know me for who I am. Nothing more, nothing less. And I feel like, it's happening. I'm in the midst of everything getting ready to do what it do. And when people speak of Dad Speaks Jim, that's all they're going to know about me. Dad Speaks Gems. And go watch my shorts, see where I try to be funny at, you know, when I'm sharing little bits and pieces of my life. I really do appreciate you all. And that's what we all need. We need encouraging people in our corners. We need people that's going to motivate, inspire us. Because there is nobody is like one another. We're all different in our own different, unique way. And I am uniquely, peacefully, and faithfully who I am. And I know y'all get something out of it, the ones that's been coming, because you all have been encouraging me, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to end this live like I always do. I want to say thank you to my moderator, Sharon, for being here for me day one. And I hope you treated yourself today. And I appreciate you, Sharon. I want to say thank you. We we love the way your heart is there, so change. Thank you so much, Kendra. Thank you so much. God bless you. I want to thank Kendra, Love Lucinda, Carla, Christina, Sharon, and did I miss anybody? And that many, but I still want to make sure. Christina, Kendra, Sharon. I think I got the ones that came in. Danielle, and anybody else. If I overlook your name, if I miss your comment, I want to say I apologize. Please come back again, turn on those notifications, like my video, and it's okay. I feel like I have 1,000,000 people watching me right now. It's all because of you. And I'm going to end it like I always do by saying I love you, you, and you. And don't even know you, but because God is love, that's why I can love you all. Y'all have a good, blessed night. Thank you all for joining Dad Speaks Jim. Good night. Okay, okay.